Hey y'all, and welcome to the Max Life. Just going to give you a rundown on the craziness of today. Of course, y'all know that laundry is always on the list, but we were actually, the kids actually was able to hang out with Colby's mom today, which freed up me and Colby. We were able to run to Jackson. Y'all know that we have some very unusual weather coming in for us. It has been really cold. Our fireplace has actually been going for like a week and a half now, like literally non-stop. But all that is about to change, and we're going to get into that in just a minute. But while we were grocery shopping, I did order a banana tree, y'all. Now, I do have a little bit of concern because it has taken a really long time to get to Mississippi, and I'm a little concerned that it's going to probably be parked since it wasn't delivered today. It won't deliver tomorrow, which tomorrow is Sunday, so I'm filming on Saturday. Monday and Tuesday, the weather is going to be very cold for us, and the banana trees are not supposed to be really cold. So I'm not sure how that's going to play out. It has taken way longer to ship than it should have. I should have gotten these several days ago. Not sure what the holdup was in shipping, but I do plan on getting a banana tree to go in my greenhouse. But while we're not growing bananas, our next best option is to buy bananas. Now, I did go over and beyond of buying organic bananas and organic apples because actually my kids prefer to have freeze-dried apples over regular apples, and we do eat them from time to time. The kids like raw apples, but they actually prefer freeze-dried because what a freeze dryer does is it takes all of the water content out of your fruit, and it enhances the sugars in fruit. So a lot of your freeze-dried fruit actually tastes more like candy because it's not that the sugar content is higher, it's just not diluted, and a lot of your fruit comes out very sweet. So this is something else on the list I have to get done this weekend because I am a little afraid that we will probably lose power if the sleet and the ice comes like they're saying it's going to come. We will probably not have power, and I'm not as concerned really as the sleet and ice coming in, but it's the amount of dead trees that we have in our area because we went through a really bad drought just a couple of years ago, and y'all, our pine trees, there's not a lot left. Alive ones. The majority of the trees around in our area were just all dead from that drought. It allowed bugs to come in. Bugs infested a lot of those trees, killed those trees, and now we are seeing trees fall like crazy. This is something else I wanted to tell y'all. So I have old videos on making kombucha. I actually have videos on starting my very first kombucha, which was 4 or 5 years ago maybe. The older it has gotten, so your SCOBY hotels build up, and y'all can do a whole video just on kombucha. If you're not sure what kombucha is fermented tea. It's very gut healthy, and it's something that my family has personally chose to drink for years and years. Mine did get very stout, and I made it a couple of times, and the kids just was like, "Mama, this is too strong." They really weren't drinking it, and I told them if they did not finish off those bottles, I was not going to make it anymore, because not that it's really time consuming, but I don't want to put a lot of energy into something that they're not going to really drink. But I miss kombucha a whole lot, and I pulled it out probably a week or two ago and realized that gnats have gotten under all the cloth, under the rubber bands. I have no idea how they did that, but I had gnats get in my kombucha and basically ruined it. So I do have, this is not actually plain, it is raw kombucha, but it's not actually plain, which is the best kombucha to use to start your SCOBY, but our Walmart doesn't carry it. Actually, when we went to Jackson, I made a special trip to Whole Foods to try to find plain kombucha because that was probably my best place to go in our area to be able to find plain. This is called Marine Greens. I am thinking that it is still going to do the same job. I just need it to create a SCOBY. So I'm going to be feeding this with organic black tea. I'm going to be letting it sit in my pantry for multiple weeks. If the SCOBY is going to form, it will form. I have a very good feeling it is going to form because even when I make regular kombucha in the jar and pull it out and flavor it with pineapple juice or whatever I'm going to flavor it with, and leave it on the counter. If I leave it on the counter a little bit too long, a SCOBY forms in the bottle. And that's really kind of the goal of this. So I'm going to be doing that this week as well, making some organic black tea. The cultures are in the bottle. So as the culture sits in that tea, a SCOBY should form. I've never used it. I've only done it one time and it was successful, so I didn't need to make a whole bunch of SCOBYs, because your SCOBY will continue to grow as you feed it, kind of like a sourdough starter. And you don't want your SCOBY to get too big, because then it will ferment extremely fast and almost turn into an apple cider vinegar taste, which I don't love and the kids don't love either, but it happens kind of fast. So I'm going to be trying my hand at it again with a different brand, and it does say raw kombucha, and it does have a little bit of spirulina, some things like that in it. But guys, this is my best option. It's the best I have, and we're going to try it and see how it goes. Okay, I'm going to tell y'all something that's going to blow your socks off just a little bit. I know a lot of you people from the North, Canadians, a lot of you North American people don't experience this kind of weather, but this is pretty common in Mississippi. To be as cold as it is, to need a fireplace, to go to literally, it feels amazing outside right now. I'm in a short sleeve shirt, no jacket needed. It feels fantastic to literally, in less than 24 hours, it is going to go down. It's going to rain here. The weather is going to drop to, now it's probably 68, 70, 72, feels amazing outside, to becoming so cold that our high is 20 in the 20s. Dramatic change, 24 hours, literally going from feeling fantastic to being so cold you can hardly stand it. And that's one of the reasons why I've come outside. I have since 2 days ago, I was able to uncover all of my stuff. It still looks fantastic, and I'm so thankful. I've been able to uncover all my stuff. We've been able to eat off of it. We've had some salad. I've had some spinach, which is wonderful. It's why I grow, to come out here, get it, eat on it. But now I've got to cover it all back up. A couple of days of some pretty nice weather, a little bit cool at night, but not unbearable, to absolutely insane. We're going to have teens. Our highs is going to be in the 20s. So there's no question if this has to be all covered back up. I really don't like for it to go into freezing. Our past couple of nights, it's been like 34, 35, somewhere up in there. So it's been fine. I've left it uncovered for the nights because it hasn't been under freezing. And then the day, it's gotten amazing sun. It actually kind of rained on it today. Everything looks fantastic. But the weather is not going to stay like this, sadly. By tomorrow night, it's going to be really, really cold. By Monday, it's going to be even colder. And when Monday night comes, it's going to be unbelievably cold. Tuesday, is the day that we have a chance for snow. I really don't think we're going to get snow. I think we're going to get more like ice and sleet. So I'm going to go ahead and cover all this because it is supposed to start dropping tonight. It's not going to come up for several more days, and I sure don't want to lose my stuff, so I'm just going to jump on that right now and get all of my greens covered back up. So there you go. That is done. You know, it's one of those things I told you guys that, like, probably until mid-March, I'm going to be playing on and off with this, which is fine. I really don't mind doing it. I would rather know that I have it than just leave it open and let the frost kill it. 32 degrees is kind of pushing it. Anything under that, I just don't want to chance it. If it is a really hard frost, it's like taking lettuce and putting it in the freezer. I don't really want to chance that with the lettuce, so my best option is just to come out here and close it up. I do want to tell y'all this. We went ahead and ordered a steel structure for the start of a greenhouse. Now, it's going to be what I want. It's going to do what I need it to do. We've tried to kind of price everything out and make it as affordable as possible, but to get what I want. Now, this area is going to look completely different when we're done with it. I know it's hard for y'all to tell from the camera view, but over here where I've had these raised beds, like in this area right here, all of this is going to come down. It's all wood, and wood is not really ideal because you see one of the boards literally falling off. So these are some of our older beds, and we're trying to kind of shift everything more towards beds that are going to last a whole lot longer. And we've really found that with these galvanized beds. I have several different brands and I really like them all, but these are going to be gone. We are not going to lose the dirt. I have pretty much transplanted everything but a couple of the greens. Hopefully, I hope that they last. One way or another, they were not going to be able to stay there. Now is probably the better time to transplant most of your things because, well, I actually did it several days ago. So they've had several days of really warm water. Winter, when things are dormant, or early spring is the best time to transplant things. So that's why I did that. Now, since all of these are going to be taken down, you see that I've had major grass problems in this area for a really long time. I have done everything from tarps, I have done cardboards, I have done barks, I have done pine straws, you name it. So the problem with right here is we have runoff water from our house, which makes this ground really, really soft, and everything comes on top. So we're going to do away with all this area, and I'm going to tarp it again. Actually, we're going to build this up a little bit more, and then I'm going to tarp it. Since we're out here doing dirt work, I'm going to build this area up just a little bit. We're going to try to make it to where the channel of water goes more this way instead of this way, because the runoff from the house literally just comes right here where I have everything planted, which obviously is a problem in this first section. So I have had tarps covered up, I've had bark covered up. You almost name it, I've had it around these beds. You can see the lines, but the grass continually takes over. I have resorted to spraying low a couple of times just to try to keep the grass under control, and you see it's still growing back. So grass is a major problem in this area, so we're going to completely avoid this all the way around. Now you say, well, how is grass a problem when it's in raised beds? Here's the thing, if the guys are weed eating literally up on this, it shoots everywhere. The more I have them weed eating right here in this area, the more grass seeds I'm getting in my beds. So yes, they are still raised, but I still have problems fighting grass because if the guys are weed eating right here all around this, it still causes problems. So all of this is going to be tarped. Not all of it, we're going to line it up with the other edge, and I'm just going to let the grass take back over because obviously that's what it wants. I'm just going to tarp this section so that way in hopes that whenever we do build this up, the grass will eventually take back over. But I'm hoping that the tarp will be a little bit higher and it will help me with grass control in this high tunnel, because we are going to frame up this front. We're going to get a different tarp for it. This will kind of be closed too, but it will still be a cold closed. So I can still grow stuff in the winter in there. It won't be like a true greenhouse where the temperature stays up, but it will keep frost from getting on the majority of my plants. So something that is sensitive to frost, I could still utilize in that area. Now, here's the thing with the area we're going to do right here. I'm going to re-tarp all of this. It'll have another layer of tarp on it. I'm going to bring beds, and y'all, we're talking like this is future plans, but this is the plan. All of this will be tarped over. I'm going to extend, so that will have the high tunnel will have a front on it with a door that keeps it closed where we can come in and out. But I'm going to run those beds. I will probably have 2 or 3 more outside. So if I wanted to plant like echinacea flower, anything like that that's perennial, that'll come back, the weather doesn't affect, but it's not in the ground because obviously we constantly battle grass here. I don't want to do in the ground in any of this area. So we're going to bring those beds out. I'll have a couple of more planting. It will only be buying the raised beds because I already have the dirt to fill it. I'll be putting rabbit manure, compost from the barn in the very back that y'all have heard me talk about. That is the plan for right here. We're going to trim this muscadine back. I'm going to get runners on it like it's supposed to be. That area over there will stay grass, and then we're going to bring this building out right here. So it will essentially start lined up with this. I will have a door. So all of this basically is going to be a 30 by 30. All of this essentially is going to be like my growing area. I will be able to put all of my fruit trees, banana trees, key limes, all my citrus fruits. I'm going to have raised beds in there. I'm not doing in-ground in this. Not right now. That's not the plan. I want a foundation. We're going to lay a foundation. We're going to tarp that foundation. And then I want to go up. Crawling around on my hands and knees. I'm getting too old for that. Like I said, down here in the south, I have done everything that you could possibly think of, y'all. There is this layer of tarp. This exact tarp is under all of this. Actually, the other day, you can see right here the layer of tarp under there. But because of the wash off, it causes a problem. So all of that is slowly being washed onto this. Once we build all this up, we tarp it, the beds will go up. Colby has been doing some research and digging on the sides and the tops, what we're going to look at for venting, what we're going to look at for heat, all of those things we have been discussing. We're going to show you guys along the way. We're going to show you the build, how all of it goes. I am very excited. So I'm going to have like my own whole part of the yard as dedicated just to growing and producing our food. I am very excited about it. Weather elements, you know, won't really affect this. I am thankful that we don't have a lot of trees over in this area. It's in my front yard, but y'all, it's just who we are. You know, if people drive up to our home, it's not going to be manicured perfect. There's animals running around everywhere. Yes, you're going to see some stuff that looks absolutely horrendous, but there's a purpose to those greens looking horrendous. I'm waiting for those to flower and go to seed. So while some people see a dead plant, I see a future plant. And we just see things differently than most people, and that's okay. If people come up in my yard and they see a yard full of high tunnels and row covers and dead plants, that's okay. It doesn't really bother me. I don't want a magazine style home. I want a home that is welcoming. I want a home that is good for my children. And that's really what we're shooting for. So I'm very excited about this process. It is going to be a long process. It's not going to be something that is going to be thrown up overnight. It is in the works. We will have to start the dirt work first. The metal frames have already been ordered. They should be here in the next couple of weeks, but we can't even start on those till the foundation is done. We'll get a good foundation and get that going, get our tarps put down. Then we can start looking at working on the metal frame once all of that gets done and we see exactly what kind of sides we want to go with. Then we'll go forward with that. Then of course it'll have to be put up. The sides will have to be put on, the top will have to be put on. That'll be time consuming as well. Then we'll start on our venting, our heating, and all of that. And it is just going to be a process, but it is a process we're very excited for because it's going to be a huge benefit to our farm and our family. And, you know, even though we had to go to Jackson today to pick up some groceries, it's more along the things that we can't grow here that our family really likes. Like I said, apples, bananas. We did get a couple of things of broccoli to get us through until our broccoli starts producing. Some things like that. But it is exciting to know that we're taking more and more of our food, what we eat, what we put in our body, what our kids are exposed to, chemicals and all of that, and we're putting that in our hands and our control. And you know, that's really the way that it should be. I have a lot of people that I talk to and they say, you know, you're living like my mama did, or you're living, this is the way life should have always been. We're just going back to the way that it always was. We tend to look at things now and say, oh, well, that's not normal, or that's different, but it's really not. really what we're doing now is different as a culture, depending on grocery stores, depending on fast food to feed us, depending on farmers to feed us. You know, many, many years ago, that was our job as a family. That was our responsibility. It was the man's responsibility to farm, the children to get out and help with the farm chores. That is what they did. Generation after generation after generation. We're just going back to the way that it's supposed to be. And guys, we hope that when we show you these things, that it encourages y'all, that it makes you thankful for what you have, yes, and what you can get by with, yes. But to try to spark interest in these young generations to say, you know what, they can do it, I can too. If you're young and you're looking at this, y'all jump into it and do it. It is hard work. It's the best decision. It's encouraging to know that there are people that reach out and say, hey, I want to do that. What do you think about this? It's encouraging to know that people are beginning to really see the value of going back to the way things used to be, and that the things that we're doing now are not the normal things. It's the way things used to be has really always been normal. It's just until the past multiple generations that those things started changing, and now we're so programmed to, if we see something different, like living the way that people used to, like milking and drinking the raw milk, we're programmed now to think, oh, the raw milk is dangerous. Why are they drinking raw milk? Y'all, that's what our generations have always done. It's just up until the past couple of years that they have been brainwashing people to say, raw milk is dangerous. Now, when people hear, you drink raw milk, y'all, if our great and great great grandparents would have laughed at some of these statements that are made today. And that's just what we want to get back to. The way that it was, the way normal generations have lived for year after year after year. What we're doing now is not normal, and our family just wants to get away from it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate y'all. We're so glad that so many of you are interested, not only in our lives, but what we do and what we share and what we try to teach. We're so very thankful for y'all. God bless and happy homesteading, y'all.